Okay, Future Geo here. I'm gonna go out there and say, if you want the breakdown of the prospect that was included in the trade, skip to the end of this video. The next few parts are gonna be just my immediate reactions to the fact that Chris Tanev got traded to Dallas. My goodness! 20 minutes! That's all it took for things to get crazy in the NHL! Because 20 minutes ago, we had ourselves Frank Saravelli say that the Vancouver Canucks have made significant progress with Elias Pettersson working on what is believed to be an 8-year contract extension. It's not done, but this is a big development, and a new deal could be finalized in the coming days. There's a tweet reply here made by Tommy that I think goes out there and describes the entire situation. You just lowered the anxiety levels of an entire province with one tweet, Frank. Thank you. So, there you go. That's the big update from Vancouver. Of course, nothing has happened, nothing is done, but it's big development here. And according to Saravelli, according to his sources, there are conversations happening, and there has been progress made. This, even though it means nothing, is a lot better than what we had felt about the situation like 20 minutes ago, which was nothing. We thought nothing was going on. No conversations. Pettersson shuts the door. He didn't want to talk about this until the end of the season, whatever. Wants to maximize his AAV like Austin Matthews. He wants to play for a contender, whatever. We didn't know. We had no idea, but now we have an inkling. Big development. Significant progress. That was 20 minutes ago, but just a few minutes later we had even more news because Chris Tanev is getting traded to Dallas and we don't know the return. At the time of me recording this audio, we do not know the return, but just seeing Tan Man going over to the Dallas Stars, this is going to be huge. My question is, with the Dallas Stars, they have Joni Hakanpää who had just returned. He's a shot-blocking, defensive defenseman, physical beast. Chris Tanev is also a shot-blocking kind of guy, so I'm kind of wondering where they're going to diversify those minutes. You still have Nils Lundqvist, who is out for a while, but really, for a Dallas Stars team that is, if you take a look at the NHL standings right here, they're doing pretty well for themselves right now in the wild card race. They're second in the Central Division, actually tied for first with the Winnipeg Jets. This is a team that has had so much going right for them. They're a wagon, and getting one of the best defensive defensemen on the market, shut down, shot-blocking guys, to add on to that Joni Hakanpää, to add on to Thomas Harley, who has been good himself, Esa Lindell. A lot of these defensemen in Dallas are pretty good. And I know personally, because I've been paying attention to a lot of the guys who block shots this year, Hakanpää's a beast. I have him on my team. I dropped Quinn Hughes last night to get Hakanpää back because I activated him from the IR. But Chris Tanev going over to Dallas makes this Central Division a lot more tough. Sorry, Colorado, but man, have fun trying to go out there and beat the Dallas Stars with Hakanpää and Tanev blocking everything that moves that goes towards the net. Also, big typo for Rick Dhaliwal, trade call in progress. Yeah, you know, typos happen. They happen. Here it is. Okay, reloading the page here. Flames are getting a second-round pick, a prospect, and a conditional pick in exchange for Tanev. No first? Really? No first, bro. What the hell? They didn't get a first-round pick? Bro, come on! Are you serious, dude? If that was the price, I honestly would have thought that the Vancouver Canucks would have been all over that. They didn't want to trade away a first! But a second, a young prospect and a conditional pick going to the Flames in return for Tanev? Dude! What if it was like a second Willander and another conditional pick that could have gotten it done? Oh, boy. Oh boy, Patrick Allvin. I'm sorry, bro, you missed an opportunity here. Oh, that's my immediate instinctual gut reaction. I'm kind of thinking, because we had been hearing this entire time, like, there are articles from earlier this morning on different trade websites, TSN, Sportsnet, etc., saying, yeah, the price for these guys, for Sean Walker, for Chris Tanev, for Noah Hannafin, for whomever else it is on the trade block, defensive defenseman, the price is a first-round pick. So the fact that the Dallas Stars got away with this with a second? Oh, boy. Second, a young prospect and a conditional pick. You know, conditional pick could probably be like a third-round pick that becomes a second if the Stars make the finals or whatever. Young prospect, I mean, There are a few guys that the Dallas Stars have drafted over the past few years that I do like, that haven't really been like, top of the line, mainstream top 10 picks. I mean, the highest pick they had recently was Miro Heiskanen, but other than that, I mean, you've got Harley Thomas, you've got Maverick Bourque, Antonio Stranges is a player. If he becomes something, that'd be interesting. Wyatt Johnson, Logan Stankoven. Dude, if it's Logan Stankoven going the other way, that would be insane. He's literally a point-per-game guy in the NHL. Christian Kyrou is Jordan Kyrou's brother. Leon Bichel was drafted earlier last year, and then in the most recent draft, I mean, you've got Tristan Bertucci. What young prospect could be going over to Calgary in this deal? Okay, let's not talk about that for now, and focus instead on the Elias Pettersson conversation. Just jumping back and forth here, trying to, kill the time, waiting for the trade to go through. But for Elias Pettersson, this is exactly what we had talked about in the video just a few minutes ago. Like, I'm gonna be honest, dude, I published this video here on YouTube just a few minutes ago. I went to eat dinner, and then I came back, and we saw this news that everything was going on. We talked about in that last video how Elias Pettersson is a human being, and how Rick Tocchet called it out and said, yeah, Pettersson is obviously getting affected by all this conversation, all the noise regarding him and his contract, because he's a human being. You can't ignore that, right? Especially in a market like Vancouver, where everybody's so crazy about everything. So to see here that there's significant progress, who knows if it's on behalf of Pettersson via his agent, or if it's the Canucks and Pettersson himself negotiating that stuff. I mean, he said initially that he didn't want to focus, or he didn't want all this contract stuff to be a distraction throughout the regular season. But guess what? Now that he's in a position where there have been reports of him not wanting to come back, it's a distraction now. So, it's kind of a meltdown in Vancouver in regards to that Pettersson conversation. But this Tanev and Dallas deal, man, am I feeling the Vancouver Canucks could have gotten snuffed. Second round pick, if you're thinking about the Dallas Stars and how far they can go this year, I mean, if they make the third round, I wouldn't be surprised. A second round pick from Dallas is probably somewhere in the, let's say, what would that be, like 50th overall plus spot? Like, not something super high up there in the draft. So it's really going to depend on that young prospect going the other way. Maybe the Calgary Flames just did not get themselves any offer that they thought was acceptable for Chris Tanev. They didn't get that first-round pick offered from any of these teams like Toronto or like Vancouver or like New Jersey or like whatever. Dallas instead were like, hey, second-round pick, here's another conditional one, and here's a young prospect. Okay, Future Geo back in here now. We have ourselves the confirmed prospect. As I had said, conditional third-round pick. Okay, great. Second-round pick and Artem Grushnikov to Calgary for Chris Tanev. Now, let's go over to Grushnikov, go over his profile. He's playing in the Texas Stars system this season, and he's had himself 5 points in 44 games played. A very defensively minded defenseman, more of a physical specimen than an offensive one. 6'1", 194 left-handed defenseman signed to the end of 2025-2026. Grushnikov can act as both the supporting element in a defensive pairing, the element who glues himself to off-puck attackers and denies them passes, and the engager. He can use his body and skating to win the puck one-on-one, along the boards or in open ice, allowing his team to rapidly relaunch the attack, something he can do occasionally, do himself through short passes. So this is really more so of a transitory, two-way, off-puck kind of guy, not really an offensive point producer. Even in the OHL, he wasn't really that, but Grushnikov was a second-round pick by the Dallas Stars. What is it now, 3 years ago? Yeah, my goodness, 2021 was 3 years ago. And back in this time frame, he was playing in the Hamilton Bulldogs as a ghost, because nobody played in the OHL that season. It was shut down due to COVID. The years after, though, Grushnikov was good enough to round himself out in the AHL. He played with the Texas Stars. He had these amount of points. I'm not really looking too much for like a top-tier point producer out of Grushnikov. If he can become like a stabilizing defensive force in the NHL by the time he's in his prime, then okay. But this is the prospect going over in return for Chris Tanev. Okay, we'll see how that goes, eh? And another final detail, the Flames are retaining 50% on Tanev's salary, as well as New Jersey. Tanev, 75% salary retained, is going over to Dallas alongside Cole Brady. You've got to Calgary a 2024 second, Grushnikov at a conditional third, and then the New Jersey Devils are getting themselves a fourth to retain even more money on Chris Tanev. So his total AAV is going to be like 1 point something mil on Texas. on Dallas. That is crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, not just about this Dallas Stars trade between Chris Tanev and the Flames, but also about the Elias Pettersson confirmation here from Frank Seravalli. What are your opinions about everything going on in the NHL in the past 30 minutes or so? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.